The dense forests of Ekiti State have suddenly transformed into a massive and highly active battleground, and the criminal elements who confidently thought they could turn the peaceful region into their personal safe haven are currently running for their lives in total panic. Right now as we speak, a massive and highly coordinated joint security operation is actively and aggressively sweeping through the deep, thick forests of the Ekiti North Senatorial District, specifically targeting the notoriously dangerous Ikole-Irele forest axis. This is absolutely not just another regular, routine police patrol that we are used to seeing. This massive operation features a heavy and uncompromising combination of the Nigerian Army, the Department of State Services, the Nigeria Police Force, the Civil Defense, the state-backed Amotekun Corps, the newly established Agro-Martial Corps, and very importantly, the fiercely dedicated and incredibly brave local hunters and vigilante groups, including the courageous men from the Koro border communities. For several agonizing weeks, hard-working farmers and innocent residents in these rural and remote areas have been living in absolute paralyzing fear, completely unable to visit their farms or go about their daily businesses without looking over their shoulders. But the tables have finally and dramatically turned today, and the traditional hunters have officially become the fierce hunters of these criminal syndicates. To completely understand exactly why this massive military and local security push is happening right now with such incredible force and urgency, we have to look very closely at the recent troubling security tension that has been rapidly building up along the vulnerable, porous borders of Ekiti, Kwara, and Kogi states. In recent times, heavily armed bandits who were beginning to feel the intense burning heat and massive operational pressure from security forces in neighboring Kwara State began fleeing southward in absolute desperation. These criminal elements desperately tried to sneak into and fully infiltrate the thick, almost impenetrable forests of Ekiti State. Their clear and dangerous objective was to secretly set up new operational camps, coordinate fresh, highly organized kidnapping rings, and build up their terrifying operational capacity right under the noses of the state government. These fleeing criminals became increasingly bold and aggressively invaded several peaceful farming communities, specifically targeting places like Irele, Itapaji, Ijowa, Iyemeru, and Okeako. They practically and forcefully took over ancestral farmlands, violently blocked access to vital community water sources, and subjected innocent, defenseless residents to a state of constant, unbearable terror. The situation gradually became so incredibly terrible and unbearable that the distressed community leaders and traditional rulers from these 6 heavily affected towns had to urgently sit down and write a powerful, desperate protest letter directly to the President of the nation, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the proactive Ekiti State Governor, Biodun Oyebanji. In this urgent letter, they seriously warned of an impending massive humanitarian catastrophe if nothing was done immediately to flush out these dangerous invaders. The bandits even pushed their luck much further by brazenly attacking the Koro community, located right on the 10th border between Kwara and Ekiti, where they engaged in a highly fierce, terrifying gun battle that unfortunately led to the painful loss of lives, including a highly courageous local forest guard who was bravely trying to defend his people. That deeply tragic loss of life and the continuous unbearable harassment of innocent farmers became the absolute final straw that broke the camel's back. Governor Biodun Oyebanji immediately and decisively sponsored a massive, highly unannounced and completely surprise military and local security package specifically designed to completely flush these dangerous criminals out of the state, once and for all, without any mercy. The Special Advisor to the Governor on Security Matters, Brigadier General Ebenezer Ogundana, officially confirmed that the massive joint task force has aggressively and relentlessly pushed deep into the darkest parts of the forests. This highly strategic and carefully planned clearance operation is currently sweeping heavily from Ayedon, moving systematically through Ipao, Okeako, and Irele, pushing all the way up to the very edge of the Kogi state border. At the exact same time, another heavily armed, highly motivated team is actively clearing the long, dangerous route from Itapaji to Iyemeru and heading straight toward the Kwara state border to ensure that absolutely no escape route is left open for these fleeing criminals. But the absolute biggest and most effective game changer in this entire massive operation is the strategic addition of the local indigenous hunters to the front line of this joint task force. These traditional indigenous hunters practically live in these jungles and understand every single hidden trail, every dark cave, and every shallow river crossing hidden deep within these massive forests. They possess deep generational spiritual and physical knowledge of the incredibly difficult terrain, making it absolutely and completely impossible for the fleeing bandits to successfully hide, regroup, or lay any successful deadly ambushes against the advancing state security forces. If you are genuinely enjoying this highly detailed factual breakdown of the ongoing and successful security operations happening right now, and you truly love seeing our courageous local communities successfully and bravely fighting back against these dangerous criminal elements, please take just one quick second to completely smash that like button right now. Pressing the like button really helps this specific video reach more patriotic citizens who desperately need to hear this incredibly good and uplifting news about our national security. Also, if you want to stay completely and totally updated on the absolute real facts regarding our country's security development, local politics, and national progress without any fake news or unnecessary rumors, please make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and quickly turn on your notification bell so you never miss out when we drop our next comprehensive, fact-based report. Your continuous and amazing support is exactly what keeps us going and allows us to bring you the raw truth every single time. The incredible results of this highly aggressive, non-stop forest sweep are already showing massive, undeniable, and highly encouraging success across the entire region. The dangerous bandits who previously thought they were invincible are now quickly realizing that they are completely outgunned by the heavy military weapons and entirely outsmarted by the deep local intelligence of the combined forces. As a direct result, they are currently scattering in total absolute panic, dropping their weapons and abandoning their hidden camps as they desperately try to escape the advancing forces. Just a few days ago, highly alert operatives of the Ekiti State Security Network, who are very popularly known everywhere as the Amotekun Corps, successfully intercepted and actively arrested 5 highly suspicious fleeing bandits in the Okemesi, Ekiti area. These desperate men, who quickly and falsely claimed to be innocent farmers traveling all the way from Jigawa and Kaduna states, were actually caught completely red-handed trying to desperately escape the intense heat of the ongoing forest clearance operation. When the highly trained Amotekun officers thoroughly and carefully searched these suspected criminals, they shockingly recovered several dangerous locally made guns, sharp axes, deadly daggers, multiple mobile phones used for coordinating attacks, and various assorted traditional charms that they foolishly believed would protect them from the law. General Ogundana has made it crystal clear to the public and to the fleeing criminals that this is a highly continuous, non-stop and relentless operation that will not pause for anything. The combined security forces will absolutely not leave these forests or return to their comfortable bases until every single armed bandit is completely dislodged, neutralized or arrested, and every single kidnapped victim is safely and securely returned home to their worried, waiting families. The state government is currently actively profiling all the successfully arrested suspects to properly and legally determine their exact level of direct culpability before firmly handing them over to the appropriate authorities for their immediate, strict, and uncompromising legal prosecution. This highly proactive, incredibly brave, and massive approach taken by the Ekiti state government clearly shows exactly what wonderful things happen when our highly trained conventional military forces proudly and effectively combine their heavy, superior firepower with the raw, deep, and highly localized intelligence of our indigenous traditional hunters and brave community vigilantes. The criminal elements rely extremely heavily on the dark cover and the confusing layout of the thick tropical forest to successfully operate their illegal kidnapping businesses. But when the very people who practically live in those forests, the local hunters, decide to courageously take up arms and bravely march march forward alongside the Nigerian army and the police, the bandits instantly realized they have absolutely no chance of survival or success. The highly successful and highly visible deployment of the state Amotekun Corps and the newly established Agro-Martial Corps also incredibly highlights the absolute importance and massive necessity of funding and supporting regional security outfits in actively protecting our highly vulnerable rural farming communities.